Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, Black Married with Kids. I am so excited to be with you. Happy Tuesday, because today is Takeover Tuesday, and I am Dunamis D, aka Pastor D to so many, your spiritual leader, life and relationship coach. And I am the founder of Dunamis Women Enterprise LLC, where I work real closely with my daughter as one of the owners. And we just have a great time empowering women through leadership, coaching, mentorship, even praying with them, guiding them, leading them, that they may have a great experience of healing, and they may get wholesome outcomes for their life and relationships. And that's why I love coming on Black and Married with Kids, because we as a Black people, Black family, our children, our legacy, our life, it is so important, because God has given us some rich gifts, talents, power, particularly us as women, and it's called dunamis. And if you all don't understand what dunamis means, it is a spiritual term. Good evening, Tanya. It's a spiritual term, and it means a miracle itself. And that miracle means you have been given a power, you've been given a strength, you've been given a force, you've been given a might, you've been given a great ability to produce whatever you require, no matter what your circumstance is. So that's why I love being here at Black and Married with Kids, because the greater the obstacles we have as Black people, the greater we are, because that dunamis on the inside of us. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? And I'm excited because I got a great topic for tonight. I missed you all last Tuesday, but I was on vacation, but my heart was definitely with you. But I'm excited to be back tonight. And I definitely want to give great thanks to Lamar and Ronnie for even allowing me to be able to be on this platform before you all, because I know that greatness is here. Tonight, we're going to talk about 6 ways, ladies, 6 ways that we can build up the man that God has given us in our life when his past still impacts him. So, ladies, we're going to have some real talk tonight, but I'm going to give you those ways because I'm really still focusing on you being the woman, not just a woman, but empowering you to really understand who you are as the woman in the life that has been given to you with that great man that God has assigned to you. You have the power, you have the ability to create miracles and do exploits with the man in your life beyond anybody else. You're the only one, as a matter of fact. You have been given that assignment. So I want you all to, I know every dunamis woman has women in her circle of influence, because that's how we roll. It might not be a whole lot of quantity women, but it's some qualitative women that I want you to tell them, come on here now. Dunamis woman is here. You're going to get some spiritual nuggets. You're going to get some spiritual empowerment. You're going to understand some things that's going to cause you to take your life and your legacy and your relationship and the man that God has given you to the next level. So share it with someone, text someone, call someone, and tell them, hey, you won't want to miss this, because these 6 ways I know is going to empower you, and it's going to change some things in your life. Why? Because first of all, I've lived it. Second of all, I've coached a plethora of women who are experiencing and have experienced these outcomes. Because why? We all are in pain. Now, let's just keep it real. Women, we are in pain, and if we are in pain, guess what? Our Black men are in pain. Now, they might not show it the way we show it. They might not talk about it, but because who we are as a Black people, we have been inflicted with some pain back from generations to generations to generations, and that stuff just keep coming and passing through and passing through. And that's why we have to now learn some spiritual principles. Not just, ooh, let me go here to church and let me just go here and run here. No, we got to learn some spiritual principles of how to implement them, in our own life and in our own legacy. So that's why I'm excited. I want you all to really share it with someone. We got some great workshops coming up in Dunamis Woman. So I put that bit.ly up there. And I want you to just click on that bit.ly after you get off of here. And I want you to look through it, because I am going to facilitate some workshops that is going to be allowing you not to just look at me on Facebook Live, but come over this Zoom, over the internet, and be able to participate, to know how to implement these spiritual principles based upon the spiritual forces that wants to come and destroy your life and legacy with specificity. You know, you got to really know what it requires for the man that you have. Every black man is not the same. Every black man has his own power, strength, uniqueness, the mega mind God has given him, but he also has his own obstacles. He has his own spiritual forces that wants to come and defeat him and come and destroy him. But as long as the woman is there, as long as that dunamis woman is standing in the gap, as long as the queen know how to strategically move on behalf of her king spiritually, that is what I'm going to teach you in these workshops, because you got to know how to. Not just saying what to do. Many of us know what to do, but do we know how to do it with specificity? So I have 3 powerful workshops that's going to be coming up. And you all, it's going to be a small setting, because I want to get into your heart. I want to get into your mind. I want to get into your soul. And I want to teach you how to, as it relates to your life and your legacy. So when you look at that link, I want you to go in there and look at how this is going to be done. But these workshops, I want you to sign up for them. I'm not going to even tell you what the name of them are. I want you to go to that link when I finish with this teaching tonight, and I want you to look at it for yourself, because I guarantee you, you're going to get some outcomes. I guarantee you. Why? Because I believe in implementing the spiritual principle from his word. I don't just believe in reading it. I believe in implementing the principles. And the principles work for those who believe, and the principles works for those who don't believe. So it don't matter what you believe in, because spiritual principles are not religion. They are just what they are. Principles that whoever implement them, they will get the outcomes. Okay? So let's talk tonight. Let's go to get your pen and get your paper. For those of you who are just tuning in here, I am Dunamis D. I am known to so many as Pastor D, but I don't take no gloating in that. That's just because of the work and the profession that I do. I am the founder of Dunamis Woman Enterprise, LLC, with a conglomerate of entities that goes with it. But the crust and the core of it is that we provide leadership. We provide spiritual guidance. We provide mentorship. Also, I take time and I literally pray with people individually. I don't just pray for you. I want to pray with you so I can hear your heart. And as I'm hearing spiritually, I know how to bring that warfare to annihilate those spiritual forces that want to destroy your life and legacy. So that's basically what I do all day, every day. And I'm seeing so many people get outcomes, but I'm grateful that I'm here on Black and Married with Kids, because guess what, you all? There's some spiritual forces that comes up against us as a Black people, because we are powerful. And not only you for your marriage, but it also wants to come and destroy your kids. But I'm here to say not so, and to empower you that you may be able to implement it with specificity for your life and your relationships, and with that great man that God has given you. He may be in some pain, but you know what? He's still great. He may have his issues, but guess what? He is still great. He may not always know how to express himself to you, but guess what? He is still great. All right. So let's go with these things. Okay. 6 ways, okay, that we could build up the man that God has given us, okay, with specificity from his past pains that has impacted him. But I have a quote that I love by Frederick Douglass. And you all know it and you've heard it before. But I want to quote this quote right quick, because it says, it's easier to build strong children than to repair a broken man. Okay. Now I want to put a little twist on that. Frederick Douglass, he said a broken man, but I want to replace that broken man to a Black man. And when women, I'm giving you, and I'm stating this quote because oftentimes we fall in the trap and we fall into the snare, as powerful as we are, trying to repair the man in our life. Okay. So that is something I want to let you know, stop doing. That is not your call. That is not your responsibility. Okay. Man belongs to God. But what I'm going to give you is some strategies that you can shift those things spiritually, where his heart will be and given back to God, on behalf of his life and his legacy, particularly the pain and the past, those things that is impacting him. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight, because I got 6 ways. Okay, so the first one I want to is tell you to get an understanding. Okay, why do you say, D, get an understanding? Because as the woman, as the Black woman who has been endowed with dunamis power, miraculous strength, a miraculous force, you are a very wise woman. You have wisdom beyond, probably a lot of you all, beyond your years. As my mother used to say, you are wise beyond your years. Why? Because you have had a lot that you went through. You have had a lot that have come your way. So you are such a fighter and you're a warrior. You might not even realize how much of a warrior you are spiritually. However, when I say get an understanding, because one of the principles from the Proverbs says, get wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. But in all you're getting, get an understanding. Now, a lot of us know how to relate to the man in our lives from a wisdom standpoint, and some of us tip over into some mothering with them. That's a whole nother post that we really should not be doing, because we're trying to repair them. But what I'm admonishing you to do is get the understanding of how this is formulated from a spiritual perspective, the understanding of what this past pain wants to do as it has impacted his life, not just from a place of a natural realm, but from a spiritual realm. And so when you get an understanding, that means you have to get beyond your own natural senses. You have to go beyond the own natural realm. You have to understand the art of spiritual warfare. You have to understand and see from a spiritual perspective. And so when you can see from a spiritual perspective, it gives you a greater understanding of what is coming up against not only your life, but the man that's in your life that wants to literally destroy your life and your legacy. Okay. So in all thy getting, okay, you are wisdom. You have wisdom. You are a wise woman. But I want to admonish you. That's why I have these workshops. Okay. It's going to give you a greater understanding. Wisdom will only take you so far, but understanding will launch you into a place that you've never been before. It's particularly when it's dealing with spiritual forces, spiritual principles, and learning it from a spiritual perspective. Okay. Number 2. Now, when we're talking about the man in our life having passed, still things from his past that's impacting his life, whether it's pain, joys, or triumph, but I'm talking about right now, past pains. We have to understand that no matter what, the man requires your respect. See, that's where we lose a lot of sight of women. See, men don't need love. And if I got some men on here listening, I want you to just check me if I'm wrong, okay? We like love, but the man requires the respect. And you know why I know I'm not wrong? Because the spiritual principle says the husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church, but it also says wives respect your husband. I can't find it where it says women love your husband. Okay, it says respect him. A man requires respect, even when he doesn't think he deserves it, even when you might not think he deserves it. It doesn't matter because of who he is. Do you know respecting the man in your life bring healing to his heart? Do you know respecting him and lifting him up because of who he is, not what he did, because of who he is, will have a greater impact on his life than anything that might have happened in his past? It will launch him into a greater place in his future, in spite of what may have happened in his past. And that's why in these workshops, as it's going to be a participatory setting, you're going to learn how to, I'm telling you, with the man that I was married to, even when he did not require the respect, even when he stepped out, even when he was going over to Sally's place, it didn't matter. I still respected him for who he was, but I did not condone what he did. Okay. And regardless of it, the respect still has required him to have a seed in his life to build him up, even when I'm not even in his midst. Okay. Number 3. This is going to be good. This is going to be good right here. I hope y'all ready, because many of us, we do this. And we do it out of our frustration. We do it out of our own pain, women. And what I'm finna say to you, I want you to stop it. I don't care how much you know about things that happen in the past, in the man's life. You never throw it up in his face. Never. Do you know if that man that God has given you has found a place of rest? He has found a place of safety to even disclose anything that may have happened in his past. He's trusting you. So in the time of difficulties, in the time of the frustrations, in the time of challenges, in the time where you may be having arguments, it may be the time you can't stand his guts and he's getting on your nerve at that moment. That's what love is, okay? But you never throw anything up from his past in his face, okay? So if that's something that you have ever done, what I want you to do is, first of all, step away and say, you know what? I repent. And learn. That means when you repent, it ain't just saying, oh, I'm sorry. It means I'm ready to have a new change of mind. I'm ready to learn some new principles, some new strategies, some new skill sets based upon the wisdom that I have, and gain a greater understanding of how to handle those difficulties, where I take some past information and I turn it around to make it not only positive, to teach how I can utilize that for his good and for his greatness, okay? Now that brings me to my fourth point, because that's going to require us to have something that many of us as women still trying to acquire, and that's patience, okay? Women, you have to have patience and allow the patience to have its perfect work inside of you. James, in the book of James, it talks about that. The first chapter, it says, let patience have its perfect work. Well, patience is not literally perfect from the English term of what we're accustomed to. When it says let patience have its perfect work, it means in the time of difficulties, that's the moment that you are maturing spiritually. See, when obstacles come, challenges come, particularly with the man in my life, that's the time that I have to learn how to allow the spiritual principle of patience to allow it to mature me spiritually. So in other words, when I want to say something, I got to shut my mouth. Okay, because in my time of silence is when that patience is being worked in me and causing me to spiritually mature. And what that will do, it will cause you to grow. So now you can go through it just a little bit more with ease. See, that's why dunamis is so important. So ladies, you know how we want what we want when we want it. Come on now. Everybody don't leave me out there. We could be very impatient because you know what? From our own past pains, we have tipped over into dominance. We have tipped over into control. We can easily tip over into manipulation. That's why healing for our soul is so important. And that's why after the Healing for My Soul challenge that I was talking to you all about a few weeks ago, I've implemented these workshops because those are follow-ups of now teaching you how to do things with specificity. Okay, that's why I want you to go to that link and look at those three. Okay, so we always know that patience is being worked on the inside of us. Kevin, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. See, that's a great man. He said, great topic. Can't wait to hear it. You can look at the link too. But that patience has to be worked in us. Our Black men need us to be patient with them. Okay, we want them to have it all together, but they got to get it all together, which is why they need us. Okay, but they don't need us to nag them. They don't need us to give up on them. They don't need us to go off. They need us to let God work a perfect work on the inside of us so dunamis can work for them and not against them. Okay, number 5. Ooh, this is going to take a skill. What I'm about to say right now, this is going to take spiritual maturity, and this is going to take a skill set, Valencia. Okay, number 5 is say what you don't see. I'm going to say it again. Say to the man, the great man in your life, what you don't see. See, in other words, if you see him struggling, don't say it. Say that, baby, you're prosperous. See, you want to say what you don't see. That's why you got to be spiritually fortified. You have to be spiritually mature. It would, the Bible even says, call those things that be not as though they were. So if you're poor, then you know what? I'm going to say you're rich. Okay. If you're acting one way that's negative, I'm going to speak the positive for you. If you're struggling, I'm going to tell you that you're no longer struggling because you're great. Okay. So we got to say what we don't see. Don't look at his past and start saying, well, that's why you did this, and that's why you did that, and that's why you did that. I don't care what it looked like. I know what God said about the black man. I know that he's powerful. I know that he got a mega mind. I know that he is rich in himself. I know that he got what it takes for me as the woman. Why? Because he was assigned to me. So if anything, if I think less of him, women, that means I think less of myself. But if I think great of myself, there's no way I'm not going to think great of the man that God has put in my life. Okay. See, those are spiritual principles. And then I told y'all it was 6 of them. All right. See, I can go on and on and on, and I got a list of them. But for the sake of tonight, I'm going to give you the 6th one, and that's my last one for tonight. I hope y'all ready for this one, because this is going to require a dunamis woman. This is going to require a woman who's seeking for more spiritual principles. This is going to be a woman who's seeking for spiritual things to take place in her life. And this is a woman who's ready to have a change, and she's going to do what it takes to get a change. All of us, there's no black man that don't have a past that impacted him. You know why? Because there's no black woman that haven't had a past that impacted her. Okay? So if I'm the woman for the man in my life, I got what he needs. Now, it ain't just about what he needs naturally. I got in my heart what he needs. And what he needs is the healing. I don't talk about healing. I be the healing. Okay? I am the medicine to heal his past pains. It's in my countenance. It's in my speech. It's in my mannerism. It's in the way I walk. It's in the way I touch him. It's in the way I lay with him. It's in the way I stroke his head, top and bottom. It's in everything that I do. It's in my laughter. I am the medicine. Number 6, as the dunamis woman that you are, for the black man in your life, I am admonishing you to learn how to be the medicine that will bring healing, that will bring the healing to what the man needs from his past. What mama didn't do don't matter, because the woman is here now. What the ex-wife didn't do, it no longer matters, because the dunamis woman is here now. I got what he need. When he look at me, he gonna be healed. When he lay with me, he gonna be healed. When he laugh with me, he gonna be healed. Why? Because it's nothing that I'm trying to do. It's because of who I am. And this is why I am having these workshops, ladies, so you could become spiritually fortified and empowered. Okay, let me tell you all something, and I'm gonna give it to you real. I have been facilitating for over 20 years emotional healing clinics. I did it face-to-face when I was in Chicago. All right, literally what I'm about to tell you is that I have had men literally call me up and say, can you please talk to my wife? I have had men admonish their wife to come to my emotional healing clinic. Why? Because the man wanted the woman to be the medicine that he needed. Now, did he say it like that? No. He loved her so much that he wanted her to be. He didn't want no any woman. He didn't want no other woman. He wanted the woman that he chose to be his wife. He wanted the woman that he said, will you be my wife? And he wanted her to learn how to be the woman, the wife that he needed. But because of her past pains herself, she could not be what he needed, okay, based upon his own past. Now, should have came himself? Yeah, all right. But let me tell you all something. The man is not going to take the same steps as the woman. We cannot, ladies, make them be what we want them to be, do what we want them to be. The responsibility is for us to be what we need to be. Ain't that right, Tiffany? Yes, Lord. Come on now. Yes, Lord. Don't make me go in here on Black and Married with Kids. Now, if I was on my Mighty Christian Women group, which y'all need to join that too, it may be a whole total different thing. But when I'm a guest, I got to try to at least be a little dignified. All right. So I want you all to know these workshops, as I have these 3, okay, go in there and look at the link because I was about to tell you what the workshops were. Whew, had to catch myself, okay? You're going to learn and be empowered spiritually. First of all, how to be the medicine in various ways, how to bring healing to them. But you got to know the spiritual forces. You got to know what's coming up against you, your life, and your legacy. And guess what? You think that the enemy wants the man in your life? No. Let me tell you who he really wants. He wants you. He wants you because you are the woman. He wants you. And if he can't get to you, guess what we want to get to first? Your children. Okay? Because when the woman's heart is broken, impacted, wounded, bruised, broken, okay, and she keeps that stuff from her past, it gives him leverage. Because why? According to the spiritual principle, the hostility. Read it, Genesis 3:15. I ain't come on here to preach to y'all, okay? I told you I try to act dignified when I'm on somebody else's platform. But hostility, Genesis 3:15, was put between the serpent and between the woman. Why? Because he said the woman, the dunamis woman, will bruise his heel. Why? Because she has been given the power, dunamis, to work for the man in her life and not against the man. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. I thank you for this time. Y'all can still tag someone, tell them to look at this, share it with somebody. Go to that link right now, bit.ly/dunamis workshops. The first class starts on this Thursday, but we got a list of dates there. So I tried to accommodate you to eliminate excuses, okay? But I dare you to get in it. If you are not a part of the group, Mighty Christian Women, go now. I will approve it because that's where I really get a little bit more in depth spiritually. All right. But that's where it gives me the ability to connect with you, learn more about you as well. And then you always have more information. Once again, I am Dunamis D, AKA to so many, Pastor D, Coach D, Mama D, whatever you call me, just call me D. I want to thank Ronnie and Lamar once again for allowing me to be on Black and Married with Kids. Know that you are powerful. Know that you are Dunamis. Know that you have what is required for the man that was assigned to your life. Have a great evening. Talk to you soon.